美国有些众议员他们讲话的时刻呢是不太有国际政治里头一些技巧，他就会很快的就直接说出我的一些想法。他说美国根本不应该给以色列1分钱，以色列是一个很大的一个武器国家，就是它是有核子武器的。他说直接就丢个核子武器，就直接核弹把它丢在加萨，这个事情就解决了。为什么要把事情搞这么复杂呢？这很可能是美国有一些人真正的想法。
We shouldn't be spending a dime on humanitarian aid. It should be like Nagasaki and Hiroshima. Get it over with.
美国密西根州共和党众议员瓦伯格直白表示，美国不该把钱花在加萨人道援助上，而是该把钱花在如何最快结束战争上。他甚至提出可效法美国结束二战的方式，直接在加萨丢颗原子弹就可了事。他的争议发言可想而知，引发轩然大波。
In response, Democratic State Senator Darren Camilleri condemned the statement, calling the congressman, quote, an absolute disgrace and saying he needs to resign. Berg spokesperson Mike Rourke says the statements were a metaphor to support Israel's swift elimination of Hamas, which he says is the best chance to save lives and the only hope for permanent peace in the region.
Even though the congressman is trying to now walk back these comments and say he was simply using a metaphor, it's hard to come up with any other interpretation for when a sitting member of Congress is suggesting that Israel take an approach like the U.S. did at the end of the Second World War, dropping atomic bombs on Japanese cities that killed hundreds of thousands of people, most of them civilians.
瓦伯格议员事后企图为自己的发言辩解，指责媒体错误报道，导致自己被误解。他表示不会对支持以色列尽快取得胜利，才能减少更多伤害而道歉，但他绝对不会倡导使用核武。不过，瓦伯格的直白发言反映出的是共和党的主流意见，也就是唯一支持以色列取胜，不管加萨会有多惨。
It's part of a string of comments that Republicans in Congress have made about Palestinians where they have not shown any regard for civilian life. I mean, Senator Lindsey Graham at the beginning of the conflict, when talking about Gaza, said level the place. Senator Tom Cotton also toward the beginning of the conflict said as far as he is concerned, Israel can bounce the rubble in Gaza. So, I think that it's part of this broader dehumanization that you're seeing of Palestinian life, particularly within the Republican Party. Now,
共和党在以哈战争上对以色列的支持可尽管大放厥词，因为对共和党来说，与其争取犹疑的中间选票，不如专心巩固基本盘。2000年的布希和2016年的川普都是靠强化基本盘的支持而当选。共和党无需在意流失原本就不太支持共和党的阿拉伯裔或穆斯林选民。反观拜登政府，既得罪不起犹太裔选民，又要担心流失阿拉伯裔支持者，反而言行不一，引发更多批评和反弹。
What there hasn't been is a shift in policy, and that's why I think you see these protesters continuously showing up at the president's events, because what they want to see is an actual shift in policy where the U.S. is no longer supplying weapons for Israel's war in Gaza, where the U.S. is no longer providing funding for the Israeli government during the course of this conflict. And, rather than withdraw military support, the Biden administration just the other day quietly approved additional military assistance to Israel that included more bombs, that includes fighter jets. And so I think so long as the Biden administration is not actually shifting tactically or, making any major changes in policy, this is going to be an issue leading up to the November election.
继华盛顿邮报3月29号报道指，拜登悄悄授权转让价值数十亿的炸弹和 F-35战斗机给以色列后，纽约时报4月2号的报道又指，拜登政府敦促国会批准出售价值180亿美元的军火给以色列。这笔军售是多年来美国对以色列最大笔的武器销售，包括 F-15战机、弹药、培训和其他支援。
I think for the Biden administration, they're in a way in a lose-lose situation because it's support for the Israeli military on the one hand, and then it's its opposition to the behavior of the Netanyahu government on the other, leads it into a difficult situation. Joe Biden has opposition inside his own party. Many young Americans, not only Arab Americans, young people in this country see that there is a contradiction in these policies. And if you drive around here in America, you would probably see at the freeway a billboard which says your taxpayers' money kills children in Gaza. So this is a difficult situation, and Biden seems not to be handling it very well.